Her DNA was found at 6 crime scenes, in 3 different countries, and none of the victims ever saw her, because she didn't exist. It started with a single speck, saliva on a teacup beside a murdered policewoman in Heilbronn. The officer had been ambushed in broad daylight. No witnesses, no apparent motive. Just the eerie silence of a well-planned execution, and that mysterious DNA. Then it happened again. A charred caravan in France. 2 burned bodies inside. The forensic team combed through the ash and metal until they found it, that same DNA. 3 months later, in Austria, a child handed a toy gun to a police officer. Just playing around. The officer took it back to the lab for prints. And there it was again, her DNA. The media exploded. Was she moving between borders? Was this a trafficker, a hitwoman, a ghost? Police dubbed her the Phantom of Heilbronn. Interpol got involved. Special task forces were created across Europe. Over the next few years, her DNA was discovered at burglary scenes, murders, even on a bullet casing in Slovakia. The Phantom didn't leave fingerprints, witnesses, or a trace of her face. Just the same strand of DNA, always watching, always escaping. It was like she was mocking them. As if this invisible woman could appear anywhere. Kill anyone. Be everywhere, and nowhere. The question wasn't just who was she, anymore. It became, was she even real? The hunt intensified. Investigators reviewed more than 300 cases where the Phantom's DNA had been found. They even linked her to a killing that occurred over 15 years earlier. The crimes had no connection. Different victims, different methods, stabbings, shootings, arson. It was chaos, pure and perfect confusion. No serial killer had ever done this. Interpol labeled her Europe's most dangerous woman. Her DNA was found on the steering wheel of a stolen car in Switzerland, on a heroin needle discarded in a Vienna alley, on a kitchen cabinet where an entire family had been slaughtered in Hungary. Was she a drifter? A highly trained assassin? A criminal mastermind? The media ran wild. Tabloids called her the Invisible Executioner. A podcast claimed she was the product of a secret Soviet experiment. Fear grew across the continent. Citizens believed she could be anyone. Then came the interview that changed everything. An elderly woman in rural Germany said she'd seen someone, tall, blonde, mid-30s, lingering near her neighbor's home days before a double homicide. Police took her testimony seriously. But when they showed her photos of suspects, she couldn't identify anyone. A profiler with the BKA, Federal Criminal Police Office, whispered the fear everyone shared. What if she isn't one woman? What if it's a group using the same DNA to throw us off? The idea was horrifying. A criminal syndicate using false DNA evidence to mask a series of targeted hits. Then something even stranger happened. The DNA showed up in a bank robbery in southern Germany, on a doorknob that was sterilized moments before the heist. That shouldn't have been possible. Unless... March 2009. A young technician working at a forensics lab in Stuttgart was rechecking evidence from an unrelated case. She had a hunch. Something wasn't right. She decided to test one of the unused cotton swabs from their standard evidence collection kits. She ran a DNA scan. It came back positive. What? These swabs were supposed to be sterile, untouched, factory sealed. But the DNA matched the Phantom of Heilbronn. Panic set in. They tested another swab. Same result. And another. And another. That's when it hit them. The DNA wasn't from a killer. It was from the woman who packaged the swabs. She was a factory worker in Bavaria. An ordinary woman. Completely innocent. Her skin cells had accidentally contaminated thousands of forensic swabs before they were shipped out to crime scenes across Europe. The entire investigation had been chasing a phantom that never existed. Every clue, every crime, every task force, all of it based on a catastrophic failure in forensic science. Police agencies were stunned. How many cases were misled by this DNA? How many real killers got away while law enforcement chased a ghost? The fallout was massive. Lawsuits, internal audits, lab overhauls across Europe. Investigators pulled from their posts. And yet, one question still lingered. What if one of the real killers knew the swabs were tainted? What if someone used the contamination as cover, on purpose? As the dust settled, criminal psychologists began to suspect a far darker reality. Among all the contaminated crime scenes, at least 2 murders showed signs of premeditation that mirrored past unsolved homicides, ones without the Phantom's DNA. It was subtle, but chilling. Forensic reports revealed that at 2 crime scenes, bleach had been used specifically to destroy all other evidence, except the DNA on the swab. Experts began to whisper, was the Phantom's DNA ever used as a smokescreen? Could it be that in a sea of accidents, one killer saw the opportunity and left a scene clean, knowing the DNA would lead investigators off course? No one could ever prove it. But one detective, now retired, said it best. We thought we were hunting a ghost. But what haunts me most is the possibility that someone was laughing in the dark all along. The case of the Phantom of Heilbronn remains the most expensive forensic blunder in European history. But more than that, it's a chilling reminder that sometimes, the tools we trust to find the truth can become the very things that bury it. And that somewhere out there, maybe the real killer is still free, because we were chasing shadows. Subscribe to Crime in the Dark Bell, to uncover more mind-bending, chilling stories where reality is stranger and more terrifying than fiction. Full video available now on our channel. You won't believe what's next.